I'm the secretary of Kaziranga House, and I welcome all of you to this session, the Threads of Hope. So, I don't know if how many of you are already aware of this, that today is World Suicide Prevention Day, a topic that we often overlook. Some of you, maybe it's something that you usually hear, maybe you do not hear, but for some of you, you might have dealt with this issue personally. Maybe you've faced a personal loss. Yeah, me in particular, I have faced a personal loss because of this, and hence I feel that this is a very important issue to talk about. And this is exactly why we reached out to Meenakshi ma'am. Meenakshi ma'am has almost over 2 decades of experience in this field. She has done counseling, she has trained people, and she's talked about this issue extensively. And she has very graciously accepted our invitation to just conduct this session and to make people aware about this issue. And yeah, I and our team reached out to ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. And you may take over. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Chetan, for a wonderful introduction. And yes, this is a subject where it's time that each one of us gather important information, not just gather, we all get educated, and while getting educated, there are certain actions that is required to be taken at every level. So yeah, so let us start. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment.
Sure. Okay. In the meanwhile, since ma'am is trying to figure things out, um, I will tell you why this might sound unimportant to a lot of you, but it is quite important, especially in the scenario that we are currently in. We are all students of IIT MBS degree. It's an online degree, unlike the offline college where you see your peers, you see them every day, you see them smile, you see them happy, you see them sad, you notice everything, you notice the changes in their behavior, you can you can perceive things. Here it is very important, very easy for you to just be cut off from everybody. So it becomes very tricky to even be in contact with people, let alone know what issues they are dealing with. So yeah, ma'am is back. Okay, please take it.
Can you all see my screen? And if when I'm moving my screen, can you all see that too?
Not right now. We are not sharing your screen right now.
You can't see my screen?
No, not right now. You'll have to share it again. And please, guys, do not think that it's some sort of a lecture session or something that we're going to just dump some information on you. Do not mistake it for that. It is from our side an initiative. It is an awareness session. How you can actually cope up with this, how you can help your friends cope up with this. It is not going to be a lecture. You already have half of the information probably that we can talk about, or you know things. You are grown-ups, but still this issue needs to be talked about. So I would request you to stay in the session. It might help a friend of yours, it might help you if you are dealing with something is like this. Yeah. Your screen is visible, ma'am. Your screen is visible now. You can, I think, you can share the. Uh, uh,
Can you see my PPT?
no, not yet, not now. I think you'll have to change the tab. Just give me. Can you go back to the browser? I'll see what are the options you're getting. Can you go back to the browser?
I suggest one thing. Shreya, I have just shared my PPT with you. Can you share it on my behalf? I think that would work. Shreya,
Okay.
can you share it on my behalf? I think.
She can do that, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can share it.
Please do that. I think that would work better.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, while the team is trying to figure out how to do some figure out some logistics part,
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to highlight how it's very hard to communicate with people who are dealing with some issues online. It's very easy for somebody to just turn off their smartphone. You have no way to reach out to them. Maybe they're dealing with something. um, how are you going to know about it? Yeah, there's so
So,
many challenges. Yes, ma'am.
so I think Chetan, meanwhile, when Shreya is sharing the PPT, I can just start talking about.
Yeah.
So I'll just briefly talk about our organization that I belong to. My organization name is Sisters Living Works, and we are an organization that is dedicated to this cause of suicide prevention. Now, we work towards suicide prevention through our various programs. Now, our programs are like our flagship program is like conducting workshops. So we go around and we conduct workshops on suicide prevention and the topics around suicide prevention, which could be like stress management, prioritizing oneself, why it is important, then love life, and how why it's important to you know uh, how love life lead to suicide, and why it's important someone to have boundaries. And so there are certain topic around suicide where we conduct workshop. We conduct support groups for survivors of suicide. Survivors of suicide, I mean, people that are the family members that are affected by suicide, where they have lost their someone to suicide. So we have been running this group from last 10 years, where we have parents, we have partners, we have siblings who have lost their someone to suicide, and they have been joining in and out. Have been having more than 50 members in this support group, which we conduct thrice every month. You can reach out to us if you know someone who needs support to join the support group. We have specialized training programs, which is for social workers, for teachers. We have designed like 16 hours, 12 hours curriculum, which is being designed specially for them to identify warning sign with students that they deal with. And once you identify how to work with those children, so we have a specially designed training programs for teachers, for social workers, and for different groups. We have been also doing a free one-on-one counseling, which could be online and also in-person uh, counseling services, which we provide for people who need it and who can't afford counseling services outside. So these are the programs that we run at Sisters Living Works. Apart from that, we have been also doing our programs, like we have been conducting conference year after year, and this is the 11th year that we will be conducting our conference. So September is the month which is known as the International Suicide Prevention Month, and we have been doing our conference. This year, our conference is happening on 21st September at IMC Mumbai, and which is again more than half day event where we would be having a lot of speakers coming from various backgrounds, which is will be the NGO, teachers who have been affected by suicide. So we'll have a lot of discussions. What are the latest happening, their experiences, what are the new things which are being done, as far as this subject is concerned. What are the other measures which have been taken? So there are a lot of discussion which would happen. So if there are people in Mumbai, they can very well join us on 21st September. Please reach out to me for more details. Yes, you can join us there. Apart from that, we also conduct Survivors Day, which happens somewhere around November, where it is a special event for suicide survivors, where they can come and join us, and we do special events just for survivors of suicide. Apart from that, we have been also running, doing run for the cause, which happens somewhere around February, March, which happens in Mumbai. And if you know someone who would like to join us, please reach out to us. So these are all different various programs that we conduct here in Mumbai. Yeah. So that's about Sisters Living Works. Please move to slide 2, Shreya. If you could. Yeah. So Gayatri Datta, she's our founder. She's from USA, and she's the one who founded our organization after she had lost her sisters to suicide. That is where she decided that instead of sitting back and just, you know, crying over, or let's do something where we can educate people and train people how to identify and how to help out people. So that's how that was the whole objective, and that's how Sisters Living Works started in the year 2013. And that's how we started. Please move to next slide. Okay, so what is our mission here at Sisters Living Works? We want to break silence surrounding suicide. What we strongly believe that it's very, very important that people become very comfortable talking about suicide. It's imperative that we talk, we deal with the term suicide, or some or things happening suicide very normal, very normally. Like, we should be very comfortable, because a lot of time even we have been experiencing when we go to school, colleges, and when we tell them that we want to do a session on suicide prevention, they say like, क्या आप ये term हटा सकते हैं, instead of suicide can you say mental health? But no, we have to very clearly, we have to be very comfortable talking about term suicide, because it's very important. Only then, if we know what the problem is, we can work on it, right? Eliminate stigma. As I said, like, there's a lot of stigma around suicide. Uh, be with people around people who have been affected by suicide. There's a lot of stigma which we want to eradicate, and we want to people come up and share their experiences on suicide, like what happened, and like what could have been done. Or so only once we start a dialogue, I think a lot can be done. Get more people involved in bringing about awareness among the masses. Very, very important. We want school, colleges, organization, government to come forward and bring changes, open dialogue, take actions. So that's what we intend to do. Increase help seeking behavior. We want to encourage people to say very comfortably that I'm not okay. I mean, it's I always say that it's okay to be not okay. So and it's okay to express that, right? That I'm not okay and I need help. So we want to also encourage help seeking behavior. Please move on. Next slide. So today in this workshop, we'll discuss informations on suicide. We'll discuss myths and facts. Uh, we'll also discuss, as a first responder, what are the actions that can be taken. What are the do's and don'ts while talking about suicide? These are again few important pointers which we can discuss. Move on. So if you look at the data, if we just consider India, the suicide rate has been rising year after year, and there has been an increase of, you know, between between 3 to 10%, and it's been increasing. There is not a single year where there has been a dip in the rate of suicide. And with that data, if we'll see, there has been death happening every 4 minutes. So while we are doing this workshop today, you can imagine how many deaths are already happening because of suicide. Move on. Yeah. And this is how the suicide rates would look across the country. If you'll see, this is the latest NCRB report. If you'll see, the major contributors are like uh, a lot of region which is there in the Chhattisgarh, and you can just see. I'll come to this later. Move on. Just move on. These are few facts which is there. Can you move to next slide, please? Okay. And if we look at this data, and if we compare, like, if we look at the age group which has been majorly affected, we very clearly it's 18 to 30. That's an age group where majorly which has got affected because of suicide, which was 34% in 2021, and it is 35% in 2022. And the next term is 30 to 45 age group. Move on. Next slide, please. Yeah. And then if you see the people, if you look at if we divide them as per their profession, the people who have been majorly affected is daily wages earner, which is still there, which was there in 2021, where we had felt that was because of the COVID when people had to shift their job and they had to shift from city. But then it still continues, and this is what. Then the second highest contributor to our surprise is housewives. If you see, then the self-employed professionals, unemployed people, and then the students. So these are the top six contributors. Move on. Next slide, please. Yeah. So if we look at globally, it's even worse, where we can say someone is dying by suicide every 40 seconds. And the data says there are 7 lakh people die by suicide every year. And if you see, suicide is becoming the fourth leading cause of death in the age group of 14 to 19. 77% of global suicide occurs in low and middle income countries. Move on. Next slide, please. Okay, these are few terminology I think one should be aware while we are talking about the subject. Suicide, everyone know that when someone takes his life by themselves, is suicide. Suicide attempt is something where someone's attempted but not been able to, but has survived. Suicide survivor is someone who has lost someone to suicide. Okay, that's lost their loved one or close one to suicide. Suicidal ideation is when you are getting thoughts of suicide and you need help. Suicidal intent, when I intend to make an attempt very soon. Move on. So next slide, please. Yeah. So when a suicide happen, I mean it always have a long lasting effect, not just on us, every one of us. I mean, we have seen Sushant Singh Rajput, the classic case. It affects all of us. I mean, it affects family, relatives, and everyone. And we have seen suicide do not happen. It has sometimes it's an impulsive act, and sometimes someone is thinking of on over it for a longer time. Me speaking in English is okay. Should I be speaking in Hindi?
English would be preferable.
English is preferable. Okay. Thank you. So, for those who attempt suicide or end their life, why they do that? Because this seems to be a last option to resolve their problems. And there's a common misunderstanding that people who engage in suicide behavior are selfish, which further promotes the stigma. Right? Move on. Next slide, please. Okay. So, when we look at the mindset of the person who is dying by suicide, so we'll see there are three minds. Their state of mind can be divided into these three broad categories. The first one is ambivalent, is one where the person is in a state of mind, but at once the person feels that he should be living, and but on the other hand, the person feels that no, he should be ending his life. So this is a kind of a person where there are times when he needs help, and once if the help is given at the right time, we can save people who are in this category. Impulsivity is something is already going wrong in day-to-day life, and something that triggers and the person takes an immediate action. That's an impulsive. But then yes, we can also understand if someone is going through something, and if a right attention is given at the right time, again we can avoid a situation there also. Rigid. So this is a kind of a scenario where the person is constantly thinking about suicide, and that's the only thing that person is wished to do. So again, these are three state of mind when a suicidal person would be in. Next slide, please. Okay. So there's a statement on screen. 35-year-old businessman committed suicide yesterday. Can we identify an error? What is an error in this statement?
Old,
Anyone?
Old.
old.
No? Committed. Aditi said committed. Yes. So it is committed. So, as we all know, in 2017, suicide was decriminalized. Suicide was no more considered as a criminal offense, right? And still, the data about suicide comes in NCRB, which is National Crime Record Bureau. And still, while talking about suicide, we say committed suicide, right? But the right way of putting this sentence is, next slide, please, died by suicide. So someone who has died by suicide is the right way, because it again matters the way we put across things, right? If we say committed, when we say committed, it's always associated with crime or something which is wrong, right? So if we all vouch, if we all today say that while talking about suicide, I'll always be very careful by picking these terms. I think that will help. Uh, that will help, and that will definitely encourage people talking about and becoming comfortable about suicide. Next slide, please. Causes. So if you look at what are the causes of suicide, now there cannot be a single cause for suicide, because it's a very complex. Suicide is very complex, and there cannot be a single cause. There are like a person who is thinking about suicide is going through a lot. Okay, but still, if we want to break it down, next slide, please. We can broadly divide them into 4 5 categories. So as I said, suicide most often occurs with immediate stress events and other issues converge to create a feeling of when the person is feeling hopelessness and despair. That's the situation where the person is in when they decide to end their life. Next. Okay, before I was about to tell anyone who is feeling uncomfortable, or if it is overwhelming, please decide to move out of session, then you can join back whenever you feel okay. Yeah, because this is a little heavy topic. Whoever feel overwhelmed, you can decide to leave the room. I think that's fine. Yeah, and if you see the reported causes by suicide, comparison of top 5 reported, like if you see what are the reasons, the family related issues has been uh, you know have topped the chart, that major the top reason why the suicide happens is because of family related issue. The next is illness, which can also be mental health conditions. The third is marriage and relationship concerns. The next is alcohol and substance use, and the last comes the debt, poverty, and unemployment. But these are the top 5 reasons. Can we move on? Next slide, please. Okay. So if we divide them if we categorize the causes of suicide, it is broadly can be categorized into these 5: environmental and social causes, health, social isolation, social media, and personal history. Next slide, please. So many people that are affected by suicide have been diagnosed by mental disorder. It's not very easy, right? I mean, kill yourself. I think it's not as easy. I mean, there's a lot which is going on. Many students are suffering from mental health issues, and that goes undiagnosed, such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, bipolar disorder. I mean, even like in our society, people are not very comfortable saying कि मुझे ऐसा कुछ होता है. I mean, like even sleeping too much or eating too much is a disorder. The people, I mean, we fail to identify. A lot of time, we feel a very small thing like just waking up in the morning and going taking a bath, cleaning self look like a task. That could be a sign of a depression. That could be a sign of some mental health disorder, right? But again, that goes unnoticed because people don't bother to share कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है, I need a help. People don't bother to go, to seek a professional help, and hence it goes unnoticed. A majority of them do not see mental health professional. Next slide, please. Okay. So again, if I look at students, these are the major causes: relationship, parents, college, parents' pressure, college expectations, keeping up, fitting in, overscheduling. These are the few reasons. And I mean, the classic case is the quota factory. If you all have seen, I mean, there you are very openly said that the one who sits next to you is not your friend or your colleague; he's your competitor. So that's the kind of environment we build in. Even today, when we in the world, I see that there are thoda bahut importance are given to mental health, but still, when it comes to application, we are still lacking. I mean, there's a lot to be done. There's still that kind of pressure which still goes to children who are in school, colleges. They still go through same pressure which was there earlier. There are no changes, enough changes happening, I would say. Next slide, please. Challenges to prevent suicide. A mental health problem is considered a matter of shame. As I said, अरे वो तो पागल है, राइट? उसको मुझे पागल करार दे देंगे अगर मैंने ऐसा कुछ कहा कि आई डोंट फील लाइक डूइंग थिंग्स, मुझे कुछ दिखता है, राइट? तो मैं कैसे बोलूं? If I say that, I will be considered, you know, I'll be considered mentally imbalanced, and then what are being done? Like there are myths, beliefs, and misconception. You have been taken to a baba, झाड़ा वगैरह जो दिया जाता है, right? So there's a lot of these things which still very much exist, right? There's a lot of belief, misconception, lack of adequate mental health care services and professionals. Even if we say कि mental health, we should be taking a professional help. कहाँ है professional help? Even today, when we go to an hospital, a single session for a mental health counseling session, which is cost 800, 900 rupees, right? A middleman, how can they afford to get those services? So, which is also not as much there. We are not finding enough professionals. Again, social causes, जैसे there's a lot of belief कि ये ऐसा है, ये ऐसा ही होना है. There's a lot to it, right? Move to next slide, please. There are a few myths that we can just quickly explore. Next slide, please. Talking about suicide will increase risk or plant the idea of suicide in someone's mind. Is it a myth? Is it right or wrong? It's wrong, right? We need to talk about suicide, and talking about suicide will not increase risk. You should ask, if you see someone who is showing some warnings, and you should ask direct questions. Are you feeling suicidal? Why there's a change in you? You should be okay discussing, talking to someone whom you feel is not, seems to be okay. Suicide happened without any warning. Does suicide happen without any warning?
Not
There
really.
are warnings, which could be verbal, non-verbal, right? There are warnings which is happening, and one need to identify. A person talking about suicide is seeking attention. They are not serious about it. You never know which help seeking behavior is a serious one, and you never know which one you have ignored and what it may lead to. A person who want to die by suicide will find a way. It can't be prevented. No, it can be prevented if a right action is taken, and if we are educated enough, and if we can identify, yes, it can be prevented. Attempting suicide is a crime in India. I just clarified that it is no more a criminal offense. Even Supreme Court has said, there's a law that is being passed which says that it is no more a criminal offense. Next slide, please. Only professionals can help someone who is suicidal. I can't really help. No. Even any of us, like who has basic knowledge or basic understanding, I think that if I see someone who's suicidal, if I decide to be there with that person, if I decide to talk to that person, if I decide to help that person, yes, you can. There's nothing I can say or do that will make a difference. The situation is hopeless. It's very, very important. When you are trying to help someone, don't try to, you know, get flown with the thought of the person who is going through. Right? You should not say that. You should not use terms like, "I know your condition is worse and nothing can be done." You should not make. You should be very, very conscious while dealing with such people. You should be, in fact, it's very important that even you being there, just listening is important. If you feel, I mean, if you don't know how to handle, I think staying quiet or just being there and talking positive would help. When a person says I feel better, it means the danger is over. किसी ने बोल दिया कि मैं अब ठीक हूँ, I don't need you anymore, do you think? No, you never know. But saying that I feel better could be say that I don't need your help anymore. Once someone is suicidal, they will always be suicidal? No. Yeah, there are at high risk, but yes, if we work on I mean, if we work properly on that person, the person can come out of that situation. Mental health problems are for life; they will never go away. Again, I have seen people who have been, they've shown resistance in taking medicines, going to mental health professionals कि नहीं, अरे इसको मत बोलना, मैं यहाँ पे आया था, मैं एक साइकेट्रिस्ट के पास आया था. So those are the thing. And किसी ने देख लिया तो they will say that I am mad, and then that's how I'll be treated in society. But the way people don't understand, the way you have physical health issues, like if you have fever, if you have stomach, you take medicines and you feel better. Same way, if you have mental health issue, you see a doctor, you take medicine, and you can feel better in time, right? Next slide, please. Warning signs. Let's come to warning signs. How does it look like? Speech, behavior, mood. Next slide, please. Okay. I just send this. Can you run this video if possible? I just send this to you, Shreya. I've just forwarded this to you. If you can run this video. Any questions so far?
Yeah, ma'am. There's one question. So it's Diptarka Sarkar who's asking that one person had depression yet he didn't have suicidal ideation, whereas one person, in spite of not having depression, although he might have gambling compulsive disorder where he gambled, took loans and had alcohol addiction, he committed suicide. So my question is, if a person doesn't have depression, can he commit suicide due to impulse and
Yes,
other
of course.
disorders?
Yes, of course, of course. So as I said, it is very complex. I mean, you can't, you never know what the reason could be, right? So as I said, it could be impulsive. It could be sometimes someone is like thinking of it for a very long time. You need not have a mental health issue for taking such action.
If anyone else has any questions, you can unmute, you can ask in the meanwhile.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can just play the video, like, and then.
Hey there, Psych2Goers. Welcome back to another video. First off, we'd like to thank you all for the love and support that you give us. Psych2Go's mission is to make psychology and mental health more accessible to everyone, and you help us do that. Now, let's begin. The warning signs of suicide are deeply personal and subjective. Not every person seeks help for suicidality. However, each person possesses unique warning signs that can range from subtle verbal cues to alarming behaviors. With that said, here are 7 episodic warning signs that your friend may be actively suicidal. Before we begin, we would like to mention that this video is created for educational purposes only. If you suspect your friend has suicidal tendencies, we highly recommend that they seek help from a qualified mental health professional. Number 1. Giving away possessions. Has your friend been giving away some of their treasured possessions for some reason? For someone who may be consumed by thoughts of suicide, this behavior can be cause for concern. People that are contemplating suicide may give away their possessions to ensure that things are in order before they go. They may also attempt to give prized possessions to the right people or places as a sentimental or symbolic gesture. 2. Making final arrangements. Those with suicidal thoughts may be making final arrangements, such as changes to their will or life insurance that could benefit those left behind. It could also include saying goodbye to loved ones, making amends with people they may have wronged, or writing a suicidal note to leave behind. Number 3. sudden changes in personality. Having thoughts or plans of suicide can have a very large impact on the most vital part of who you are. For example, your extroverted friend may become withdrawn and isolated. Your lively and loud friend may suddenly become calm and quiet. These abrupt changes, even if they seem positive, may suggest that your friend has fallen deeper into their suicidal ideation. Number 4. Gaining access to lethal means. Access to lethal items is known to increase someone's risk of suicide, so it's important if you've noticed your friend having access to such items. It's definitely a warning sign when your friend, in despair, goes and buys a gun or starts stockpiling pills. Number 5. Talking or writing about death, dying, or suicide. While this sign may seem obvious, your friends may not use language that directly mentions suicide. Instead, they may talk about feeling empty, purposeless, or trapped in a way that suggests they're going through a challenging time. Your musical and artistic friends may start writing about dark themes that include suffering or death. It's important to take these expressions seriously. Even if they seem like cathartic release, their inspiration may be coming from a dark place. Number 6. Increasing drug or alcohol use. Does your friend take substances to numb their pain? This can suggest that they have a desire to escape reality. While increasing drug or alcohol use does not always mean that someone is planning a suicide, it can increase their risk. Studies have found that 80% of suicide attempts are impulsive. Since alcohol can impair judgment and cloud thinking, it can be important to keep in mind when someone with suicidal thoughts consumes such substances. And number 7. Dangerous or self-harming behavior. A friend on the verge of suicide attempts may engage in risky and dangerous behaviors. This could include reckless driving, unsafe sex, or increased substance abuse. While these behaviors may be mistaken as being carefree or rebellious, they can send a strong message that a friend no longer values their life and no longer fears self-destruction. If you know someone who may benefit from online counseling, we've partnered up with BetterHelp. It's an affordable online counseling platform to use. They're constantly striving to improve their services and terms and conditions. The link will be in the description box below. If you appreciated this video, please like and share it with others who may find it helpful too. All the references used are also added in the description box below. As
Can you move
always,
back?
thanks for watching.
Stop the video. We can move back to the presentation. Was this helpful?
So we see a lot of thumbs up. So I guess people found that quite useful.
So these are like direct verbal warning signs. If you like, I want to kill myself, I am suicidal, I have a plan to kill myself. We might not be taking these verbal signs seriously, but you never know. I wish I were dead. What is the point of living? My family would have been better off without me. My life is unbearable and will never get better. I'm hearing voices telling me to kill myself. Next slide, please. Indirect verbal warning signs could sound like, I can't imagine living the rest of my life like this. I just want to be alone. I am tired. I am having a hard time. You know I love you, right? I want to disappear. Will you miss me if I'm gone? My life is hopeless. It's never getting better. Next slide, please. Behavior, as we saw in the video, isolating from family and friends, staying indoor all day. There's a sudden increase in use of alcohol and or drugs, giving away treasured possessions, lack of motivation for self-care activities. As I said, at times, it's even an a small activity like just getting up and brushing and taking care of self looks like a big task. You never know what the person is going through. Feelings, depression, impulsivity, apathy, anxiety, irritability. Yes, these are also other feelings. If you see someone which are high on these feelings, may be at risk of suicide. Next slide, please. Okay. So once you have identified the warning signs now, so what should be done? Okay. So we follow acronym ACT, ACT. Okay. So the first we say ask. Next slide, please. And when we say ask, there are certain do's and don'ts that we need to keep in mind. So when they say ask, do's are ask the person if he or she is thinking about suicide. It's okay to ask direct questions about suicide. Then please actively listen to what he or she has to say. Okay, acknowledge his or her talks, behavior, and feeling. Please acknowledge that yes, this is what is. I think there's some disturbance in the background like this. Yeah. Thank you. And don't, for sure, do not debate whether suicide is right or wrong. Please don't get into discussions such how can you do that. Don't make statements such, oh no, is this what you're thinking? Discuss whether feeling or good or bad. Have you never thought of your parents? ये ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है? Don't lecture the person on the value of life, because if you do that, the person will again start refraining, discussing, or talking to you. Clear? Next, care. Let the person know that you care and understand. Discuss and care about what is troubling him and her. Please maintain a good eye contact and give your undivided attention. It's not that you're sitting next to that person and all your attention is on your phone. हाँ बोल चल क्या बोल रहा है? And that's not the way you listen to a person, right? Care if he or she has a plan for suicide. If they care, please be there. Say that कि हाँ मैं हूँ तेरे लिए, right? That's most important. You need to listen to that person without judging. Don't judge the person at that point in time. Don't encourage him or her to do it. Don't say कि हाँ your condition is extremely worse and this is what you should be doing. No, you can't be making statement like this, right? Don't act shocked. You need to just be there with that person. This will put distance between you. Next slide, please. Next slide. Shreya, can we move to next slide, please?
I think Shreya's system is stuck, ma'am, if I'm not wrong, because her cursor is not moving either. Shreya, are you here? Shreya, are you there?
Okay. So I'll just move on. Meanwhile, treat.
Yeah.
So yes, you need to find a professional help as soon as possible. You being there, yes, would help to an extent, but then yes, we also need a professional help. Follow up and check in touch with the guardian. Someone has to be constantly there with that person. Could be a parent, could be a partner. Don't never leave the person alone, and don't throw on to secrecy. कि मुझे बोला, I will not tell it to anyone, and you can just rely. Don't do that because we will have to involve people. Next, next slide, please. Shreya, can you move on to next slide, please?
I think Shreya has some lag on her system. Um, Shreya, if you're facing some issues sharing, you can share. Okay. Yeah, there is significant lag.
No problem. I can just. Do's while communicating with a suicidal person as like ensure that the individual has no immediate mean of self harm. You need to ensure that. Talk to the individual alone without any family or friend present unless the individual specifically requests to have someone else present. Discuss limits of confidentiality के कितना मैं बात कर सकता हूँ कितना मुझे बताना है. You please you should tell them, like don't say that anything and everything that you're telling me today I will not share it to anyone, right? Be non-judgmental and empathetic. Consider what is the predominant concern of that individual and how you might be able to help remedy this concern. Contact the emergency unit, college authorities if the individual appears to be at high risk. Very important. The individual needs to be assured that having suicidal thoughts does not mean they are wrong or bad. Next slide, please. Don't offer advice or try to fix the individual's problem by offering solution. You never know that, I don't think the person is in a state of mind to get solutions from you. Don't gloss over troubling situation by saying something like, This will seem like no big deal when you are older. How could you think of suicide? Your life is not that bad, blah blah. Don't leave the individual alone if you suspect they are suicidal. Very important. Stay with the individual till school authorities and parent guidance arrive. Don't look shocked. This will put distance between you and the individual. Move on. Next slide, please. Don't use these statements. Suicide is selfish, suicide is cowardly. You don't mean that, you don't really want to die. You have so much to live for. Things could go worse, things could be worse. Other people have problem worse than you and they don't want to die. Suicide is permanent solution to a temporary problem. You will go to hell if you die by suicide. Next, activity. If a friends confide in you that they are feeling overwhelmed and don't see the point in anything anymore, usually outgoing classmate has become withdrawn and is no longer participating in class. So these two you can try out. Like if you have to look around. I mean, I always say that since you have attended this workshop, please look around, and if you see there is someone who is showing these warning signs, and if you want to seek help, please do reach out to people like us, or I will be sharing few helpline numbers also. Yeah. Next. Support is important. It is important to provide support to everyone around us, and together we can fight suicide. Next. I think Shriya has dropped out.
Somebody else will share the screen, ma'am. No worries.
So points to remember with today's workshop: take suicide seriously. Do not leave the person alone. Please don't listen to someone with judgment. Do not promise confidentiality. Allow the person to open up, not shut down. Accept someone's reality, even if it is not something you can comprehend. Encourage professional help. Next slide, please. Yeah, please, if you have any questions, queries, can you just quickly move to next slides? I can just share the helpline numbers. You can also volunteer or with our organization. If you want to volunteer with us, you can write to us. I'll share my email ID, and you can also go to our website. You can fill up a form there. You can also join us. Next, our programs. I just said there's a small course available free of cost. Learn to Act, which is there on website to learn about suicide, which is hardly 20 minutes program, which any one of you can go and take up. And there's also a provision for certificate. You can also apply for certificate for this program. Support groups training program I just talked about. These are few helpline numbers which you all can make note of. These are the helpline number which we have checked personally and verified. So, and also the timings of these helpline numbers you can just make note of. Next, these are our website, Sisters Living Works, Instagram. You can please do join our page on Instagram. Suicide is 100% preventable. Speak up and please reach out. That's all from me. I open the floor for Q&A if there is any. I can see there are some, but it's really difficult to identify if a person is just scaring or it's real. Is there any way to decide? So, Utpreksha Singh, yeah. So yes, definitely it's very difficult. See, basically what we are saying is, even if this person is not serious, and even if this person is saying that this is what the feeling that I'm going through, I think the person needs help, which may not be as serious as suicide, but then yes, definitely that the person also need that shoulder that that can rely on and can share what is the person is going through. So please talk, please open a conversation. I think you'll be able to find out. For them, surviving an attempt, even multiple attempts, seems like the easy part. What's harder is when guilt creeps in during moments of happiness or once in a lifetime experiences. They begin to wonder what would have happened if the attempt has succeeded, and the thought sends them into a loop. The question whether the feeling even truly goes away with medical help or if it's something they'll have to live with. What do you suggest in that case? So, as I said, a lot of time, in fact, it is a medical condition that the person is, and with we say with a proper help, with a proper medical help, with a professional help, yes, that feeling does goes away with time.
Yeah, go ahead, Diptaka. You
Any
can
more
ask.
questions? Yeah.
Diptaka, you can go ahead, ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. I had a question actually, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that which kind of populations actually it's actually ambiguous, but then also which kind of populations or which kind of socioeconomic status they commit most suicides and which have lesser amount of suicide in comparison.
Lesser amount of.
Suicide.
Okay, I think I've already shared that data in my initial slides. If you'll see, if you look at age group, it's from 18 to 30s, which has affected the most. And the population is the daily wage earner, which the highest on the chat. The next is housewives, and then there are there are also there's also student, which is fifth. Can you move to that slide, please? I think that is slide number.
Satish, please move to slide number, I think, 8 or 9 at the beginning. Yeah, 8.
Yeah. So if you look at daily wage earner, housewife, self-employed, professional person, unemployed. This is again if you divide them profession wise. But if you look at age, I think the previous slide. Just move to the previous slide. Yeah. So here you see that age group from 18 to 30 are the one who are majorly affected. Then 30 to 45, and then so on.
Ma'am, one more question I had.
Yes. Ma'am, how do we make peace with the unanswered why after losing someone to suicide? See, this is again very complex. What we do is if whenever we come across someone who's a survivor of suicide, someone who have lost someone to suicide, for the first initial days, we want them to be left by themselves. Like in sense, they would be grieving for a specific time. I mean, they may not want to discuss or talk, but eventually, after talking with the family and friend, they would be okay with talking to some professionals and getting help. But it's important even for them to seek professional help. But it will not happen immediately. It will happen gradually, and someone has to be there, bridging the gap. Like someone has to help them out. I mean, the family, someone has to get them out of that whole situation, talk to them, and then slowly, steadily direct them to a professional help. Yes, there is one more. Dip, there is who raised
Yeah,
hand.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I only asked one question about that rates of suicide. And one more question I had actually.
Yeah.
But it's not perfectly about suicide, about one kind of trauma I'm asking. Actually, actually, in few states of India or in any other country, there the conditions of law and order, they are not good. The law and order
Right.
is like a jungle. So many people are actually, those who are weak people, those who don't have power, they are actually traumatized. And sometimes for that reason also, few people commit suicide by feeling helpless. So, so what would you say about that actually?
Very much there. Like for example, there was a time where we used to see a lot of suicide happening around insurance for the insurance thing, right? Right. I mean, because there was a bankruptcy and the person was not able to do, and they knew that the only way out to get out of it is to get the insurance amount, and there were a lot of people used to like die by suicide. So there was one. I mean, I have heard about stories. So they were not even getting reported. There are a lot of suicide which is even they don't even get reported. Uh, so even when I talk about these figures, these are not the actual figures, and that's simply because of the law and order that we have in most of our countries.
Uh, Ma'am, actually that I didn't want to ask. Means I wanted to ask actually in countries or in state where dictatorship is there the these common people they can get PTSD or trauma. It can happen. About that kind of thing I was asking actually.
I'm not, still not clear. Your voice is breaking. Can you repeat?
Ma'am, I was asking actually that
Can you type your
in
question?
few
I think
states
your
or
voice is
Yeah,
breaking.
Japtaka, you can type your question. And
okay, okay.
there's another question in the chat, ma'am. Pratik is asking that most of the solution we hear about therapy helplines sound like they're designed for urban educated people. But what about farmers in Vidarbha or Marathwada who may neither have access nor the cultural framework to seek therapy? Their suicides are rising every year. How can
Yes.
suicide prevention realistically
we
address
need
them?
we need more organization like ours. Like so just to tell you, we are a very small organization, and we are wanting to grow. It's been so many years, and uh, we are looking for some organization or some corporate to come and support us. If you see, we are just a team of six or seven max, and the team of six seven. This much is the only that we can do. We want to grow, and hence you need more organization like us who will work very specifically on suicide. So we can only work in Mumbai or Pune because we are in here in Mumbai. Like, and then we can do online session like for people like you. But we need more organization like ours, and we need more supporters. We need people who can fund us. Like, I mean, who can and hence, and that's how I think a lot of work will happen in these areas.
A follow-up question to what Shreya asked you about how do we make peace with the unanswered why after losing someone to suicide. Now, you mentioned ways of coping up with that for an individual. Now, realistically, what I have seen, especially in my particular family, we have lost um, a member of our family to suicide. Um, and it's been years, and till this date we see the after effects of that when those memories come back, um, and it's not even about an individual, it's collective.
Right,
Collectively it's hard to even accept the fact even after so many years that the member of that family is not there.
right,
um, and when it just so happens that the member of the family that I'm particularly talking about used to be, he was the he was the nicest person in our family, I would say. He would make everybody's bed. He would uh, make sure that everybody had their dinner. He would put water bottles near their beds. He would bring these small flowers whenever would go for walk. He would plant flowers. He had this dog that he raised, so just brought back from one of the walks, and the day he actually committed suicide, he killed that dog first, um, and then later on he died by suicide. So those memories make it worse for the entire family that such a person could do that, and that too, it was impulsive. At least uh, it was an incident that triggered it. Probably there were signs, people couldn't see those signs, but the after effects are faced by the family
Yes.
collectively. It's not about
Yes.
an individual.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
how does a family deal with that? Because it's been years now, and it's hard. It's hard for the entire family.
So very clearly, like as I said, Chetan, I'm very sorry about your loss. And as I said, Chetan, there are support groups which are running. Please do have access to such safe space. We are running one such support group where you meet people of similar kind, and I'm sure that really helps because again, these sessions are headed by a proper professional who tries to guide you, who gives you certain, uh, not, I mean, how you give you certain exercises which you can, which can help you to calm down. Or people like-minded when they share. I mean, you are able to help when you are able to help each other. I think that also gives you a sense of okay, there is someone, and then when you're helping each other, I think that is something which over and it takes time. I mean, I cannot say that you join and tomorrow it will be over. It will not happen like that. But then do access to these safe spaces, and that would help.
So I don't know about others actually, but me in particular really found this session really helpful because um, my team probably doesn't know this. Just in past 1 month, while a lot of things were going on, we were organizing different events, different guest sessions. At the back end in my personal life, I was dealing with two individuals. One of them was suicidal, and another one was a suicide survivor. So they were dealing with a personal loss. So for me, it was very challenging to um, even deal with them at the same time because all of that was
Yes, it
happening at the
is.
same time,
Yes, it is.
and it brings the memories as well for us being from a family who has suffered from this. So it was a little challenging. So in my particular case, I particularly found this session very useful. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that. And
Thank you so
yeah,
much. There are some
there's
more questions. I'm not sure.
yeah. There's one more question from Diptarka. Is I was asking, in states or countries with dictatorship where common people voice are suppressed, there are many people have PTSD or trauma or even commit suicide by being sad about country's condition.
Yes, yes, yes.
If,
That is the scenario. Unfortunately, that is the scenario in a lot of countries. Yes.
if any person wants to be with them as a supportive friend, what are the ways?
So as I said, like I use the acronym ACT, right? And I just said like ask, care, and take action. Like you need to talk to that person. You want to be you. You need to care. You need to care by saying that you are there. You are there. You are around, right? And thirdly, yes, when you feel that this is something which is very very serious, you need to take professional help for sure. Just being there with that person, I think that takes the person long way.
Anyone else? If you guys have any questions, you can unmute and
I have continued question actually. I only have the question. May I?
yeah, please go ahead.
Uh, yes, I was asking that if suppose someone is so much poor that he doesn't have access to mental health and wants to commit suicide because of trauma, which I asked in the chat box. So what can he do just to save himself? It's in the emergency situation.
Yeah, so one is definitely the person can reach out to family, friends, and that's one way. And you can reach out to organization like ours. We have been giving free services. We have been giving free counseling services also, as I said. But as I said, our team is very small, and we can only do this much work. And for a to cover a population like a country like ours, we need more organization and more people like ours working on it. So yeah.
And one more question I had, that in military also many people, due to some accidents or war, many have PTSD actually, but in news or in data we don't see generally the military committing suicide actually. So in what ways or objectives or strategies do military or any secret agencies or some organizations are like that follow that they always maintain a calm, disciplined, or less impulsive attitude?
So
Means
it's
how?
as I said, I think few years, few back then, few years, Nagaland, we used to not even talk about mental health. I mean, mental health was not at all there. I think if you say post COVID, we didn't even know that something of this sort exists. Very few like, used to acknowledge, but now at least people have started acknowledging that this is something which exists. This is something we need to look at. But there is a much more to be done. As I said, like I mean, there need to be a more organization working on mental health. There need to be more professionals. We have the back then. I think we had very few studying psychology, studying psychiatrists. I think we need more professionals, and there's a lot that needs to be done. And as I said, uh, at every level, school level, college level, government level, there's a lot to be done. So I'm sorry, but then yeah, there's a long way to go, or at least for a country like us.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am,
Anybody
so
else?
actually, oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was actually asking that why in army or military, in spite they can also have PTSD actually, but there we don't hear much news or data, or we don't get statistics about suicide. Actually, is that possible that in organizations like military there are proper counseling or proper check?
Obviously, there is a possibility. No? I mean, it's again, as I said, I mean, it's a government for the government to decide that. See, again, army, military are like much more disciplined, and I think the expectations are very different and very unreal. I would say at times for those, and I'm sure like there's a lot to be done at that area also. But I'm not sure how much our government is prepared to take action as far as army is concerned. In,
Because I have seen that I have heard actually from one of my one of my neighborhood who is in army. He told that in army there are more army psychologists than in civilians or common people. They are means constantly checked actually.
Yeah, this is something that is a recent development, Tarka. So, as somebody who comes from a family of uh, army officers, army personnel, this is a recent development. The army has been focusing on its personnel. Though there was a time when we didn't have these facilities in the army. Uh, my grandfather was part of Operation Pawan.
mm,
Back then, we didn't have any facilities. He was dealing with the repercussions of the war long after he came back home.
mm,
His entire personality changed. But rest assured, army is um, very focused on the mental health of
Really nice to
students.
know. That's really nice to know. See, all that we know, we
Very
have
nice
never
to
worked
hear.
I mean, with army per se. We have been majorly working, as I said, school, colleges, students, parents. These are the group that we have been able to work. So, see, earlier, there were no counselors in any school. If you talk about children, if there were no counselors in any school, colleges. At least, I think a year back, there was a order from Supreme Court that every school, college should have counselors.
Right.
But then the number of counselors that they have behind the number of students is, I mean, there's a one counselor behind 3,000, 4,000 students, which will not again support the cause, and which will not be as helpful, right? I mean, it is just kind of a tick, but it is not actually making any difference. But then yes, there has to be that's why I'm saying we need more counselors. The kind of population our country holds, I mean, we need more professionals, which is all
Yeah.
there's also a dearth of the professionals uh, that we face. Yeah. So at least now, recently there is also Supreme Court has passed a law where it says that every college or every school needs to have a separate cell for suicide prevention. This is very recent, and
Yeah, ma'am.
we really want to work on that. That how it will be applied, and how can we make this happen in every school, college. That there's a separate cell designed for dedicatedly working on suicide prevention. So we'll see.
And Chetan sir, it was very nice meeting you, Chetan sir. So, it's an honor that your grandfather had served in the army and Operation Pawan.
It was all his work. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just proud to be his grandson. That's about it. Um, the tall
Yeah,
man
yeah.
that he was, I could never scale up to him. So that's all I would say about that. Additionally, I would also say this to everyone that if you have something that you want to add or you want to say, and you're not comfortable since this meet is being live streamed and this meet is being recorded, I assure you that we will remove that part. At your request, we will remove that part. It will not go public. So you can speak up if you have any questions. You can share. So if
Ac-
anyone wants to speak, if anyone wants to share, please go ahead. And if you're even concerned, I will stop the screen recording and I will stop the live streaming as well. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, guys, anyone?
If no one has any question, may I add one point? I actually don't have any question, but
Yeah,
want to say something. If
yeah.
anyone doesn't have any question, actually.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You can
Uh,
take.
I want to add one point that I want to add one point without any shame that when in childhood actually not in no not in childhood actually in school days during time of after boards 11 12 that time I had suicidal ideation for 3 years, and then after that I didn't go to counseling or anything like that, but then also I don't know how it got solved. But I have one question that will it return again? Actually, means at that time due to COVID and post-COVID, I had withdrawal from all social circles after lockdown. Actually, so that was the main reason for that suicidal ideation. But now since I am means in the college days, I have social circles, so I don't have that much ideation. But so I just want that how it happened. I couldn't understand actually.
So, Meenakshi ma'am, I'll just repeat the question that Tarka actually asked. is that he mentioned that after his class 11th and 12th board exams, he was dealing with suicidal thoughts for 3 years. And it was around the time when COVID happened, so there were some post COVID symptoms as well. And um, but somehow I think he overcame all of those suicidal thoughts over time. What he wanted to ask is that is there a possibility of relapse? Is there a possibility that he could go back to that point where he was feeling all of that? So that was his question.
So the one who has made attempt, they're always at a risk of suicide, of attempting again, definitely.
No,
Whatever
actually, I didn't attempt. Actually, means I just had these
ideation,
thoughts. Actually,
yeah, using the suicidal ideation. Yeah. So,
yeah, ma'am. Suicidal ideation.
okay, okay. Uh, Definitely. I mean, as I said, like, see, basically, you can never say that at this point in life I'll be all okay or I'll not be okay. But if you see something, some of the behavior which is abnormal, which is not the way it should be, yes, there is something going wrong with you, and you need help. The help can be from someone loved ones. I mean, your family members. You need to talk. You need to discuss things, right? You if you find you may find if you find support within your family, within your friends. I mean, that can also heal the problem that you're going through, or that can also. But if beyond that, if you're not, if you see that there are still issues, and there are still things which is going on with you, and you're not able to figure out, I think you need a professional help.
And ma'am,
But what
actually,
happens is that we are not willing to discuss. The problem is we are not willing to talk what we feel. A lot of time we refrain on by uh, judging, by judging ourselves, that if I discuss, I will not be, I will not be treated the way it should be, right? So the lot of time,
yeah, ma'am.
yeah.
And ma'am, that suicidal ideation which I had, it was mainly due to means being lonely actually. And whenever I am not lonely, or whenever I am in crowd, or whenever I am outside house, I don't have the such type of thoughts. Means uh, just 2 years are over. Means I was in college also. Means I was in diploma in Dehradun for 2 years. That time I didn't have any suicidal ideation. Means in school days after 10th, 2020, 2021, when I was in house, that time I used to have those suicidal thoughts. When I used to be lonely actually. And whenever I go outside my home, actually when I roam outside, when I mix with people, at that time I feel comfortable. And whenever I am, means since childhood only, that whenever I am in home or alone, I start feeling very bad. So what would you say about that, and what are the strategies to that?
So you know that what helps you, right? Like, you being with people helps you. So that's what you have to do. Like, you have to be always around your support system, and so you know what works for you, right?
Even if I am around strangers, actually no friends, actually just I am going to some chai tapri or some cafe, like that, where I am seeing strangers only, whom I don't know at all, and I am having no conversation. There also I feel more comfortable than my home actually.
So you know that, like, yeah. And when you are alone, if there are situations when you have to stay alone, I think you can indulge in some sort of mental exercises like meditation. I think
Yeah, man.
uh,
Chess.
yoga. I think
Chess I
that
can
would
do.
definitely help. Yeah,
Chess also
breathing
I can do.
exercise, yeah, that may help. Yeah.
Yeah, and mostly actually my parents also know about that suicidal ideation, so they don't leave me, generally don't try to leave me alone, and they spend time with me, and always try to conversate with me, and always encourage me to meet with friends. Even if sometimes I say, sometimes I avoid going to friends in spite of liking that, they push past my limits and they request me to go to my friends or some social circle. So in that way, since I am a bit okay actually.
Do you have counselors in your college? Do you have?
Ma'am, I'm actually college pass out actually, and in Dehradun I used to read in diploma. So 2 years, after 2 years I read diploma, and there was actually no counselor, means, and the career counselor also who was available, he means he was really a bit indifferent actually. And before that, in 11th 12th time, I had shown to one counselor, means they had, what to say, they had misinterpreted my problem and had given me antidepressant actually, by referring me to a psychiatrist there, where I even tried the medicine by taking antidepressant. But after taking antidepressant, my those thoughts doubled and increased, and then I had to refer to another counselor. They told that, means, I was misdiagnosed. In that way, I became more confused actually, honestly speaking.
So
So
sorry to know
more,
that. I mean,
means, such kind of mistake had caused my, what to say, means, it caused me more trauma than my family, than any neighborhood or any loneliness. Means those who tried to help me actually helped me in wrong way actually. Means I am having a stomach ache, but they are giving me medicine for fever. The problem was like that.
I know I can. Yeah, as I said, there is still dearth of professionals, and then there is sometimes there's a dearth of right professionals. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, ma'am. And the second psychiatrist whom I shown, that person told that I am actually mentally fit, but due to some reasons I am, the suicidal ideation which I am having. It's That's why I asked that many people who without depression also try to commit suicide. He told that I might have any other issue of some anxiety or something like that, but I don't have depression actually, or just suicidal ideation. It itself is a disease, I think. It's a mental problem, suicidal ideation. It can even occur without depression, I think.
You can reach out to us. I mean, you can write to us separately, and we'll see how can we help you. Like, how can
Yeah,
our
ma'am.
team can help you. Yeah.
Very nice of you, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that's all we had to discuss. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your wisdom and compassion with all of us in this beautiful session of Threads of Hope. On behalf of Kaziranga House and IIT Madras, we are very grateful for your time and thoughts. Thank you so much for joining in the session. That's all from our side. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and I hope we can do more. Please do call us for more sessions. I mean, not just suicide prevention, but then we can do a lot of other topics which is around suicide prevention, and I'm sure with which we can help students who are who are in who are looking. I mean, who are looking for such answers. Um, like, I mean, as I said, we can do topic like stress management and others. Please do reach out to us. Also, do introduce our organization to people in distress, people who have lost someone to suicide. They can also connect with us. We'd be more than happy to support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll keep this
Thank
in
you.
Thank
mind
you so
and
much, ma'am,
surely
for
we'll
your
host you
compassion.
again.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. That's a wrap up for our session.